All right, welcome back to episode 5 of the Practice Player podcast. I'm here with.
David.
Dan?
Justin.
All right, and we're here with Justin Webster, UNLV guard. And before we get started, I guess just introduce yourself and tell us a little about your journey.
So grew up in Dallas, Texas. My father played in the NBA overseas. So always grew up around basketball. Was always around it at a very young age. Growing up, I actually lived in Japan for a year because he was playing out there. So pretty much, coming out the womb, it was always, a ball in my hand. And, a lot of credit to my dad for that. Like there was no other sport that I felt like I wanted to play growing up. Basketball was pretty much the only one I wanted to play. And, he did a very good job of molding me into that. He comes from a military background. Everything is strict, done a certain way, striving for perfection. So, he really ingrained that in me. And, I just try to go out there and do that every day. For those that don't know, my dad played at Oklahoma. He's the third leading scorer behind Wayman Tisdale and Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield actually passed him, his senior year when he was there. So, I just came around. My dad will always tell you, like, I came around a bucket getter. And so, growing up, that's pretty much like, all I tried to do was just try to get buckets. I mean, that's pretty much what he taught. And so, growing up around him, it was hard. I didn't get it at some points, especially growing up, at the early stages. But, now being a senior in college, you start to see, all the things that he was getting on to me about pay off now. So, just a credit to him for everything he's done for me, a credit to my mom as well. She's always been there. I'm a mama's boy at heart. She always tells me, if you can think about it before you do it, you can accomplish anything. And so, I try to take that with me every day of my life. And, I just credit my parents for all the success I've had.
Just get buckets, man. I love it. So to segue into our first question here, I got to ask, you spent your first 2 years playing college ball in Hawaii. And to a lot of people, that's probably like, oh my gosh, getting to play in Hawaii. So sort of walk the viewers through what that experience was like.
Well, first of all, my first 2 years, it was COVID. So, early on in my freshman year, it wasn't no COVID, pretty much got to live the college lifestyle, got to see what it was like. But, coming back my sophomore year, it was COVID. It was very hard. You couldn't really do anything but go to the gym and go to your room. But the atmosphere there is second to none. The people out there are so nice, so family oriented, and that's pretty much the reason why I went there. Even though I'm a player, they treated me like I was one of theirs, like I was family. Pretty much everywhere you go on the island, people treat you like family, and it's just something great to be around. And so I really enjoyed my time being out there. My time with my teammates, my time with Coach Gannat and all the coaches there. And I think it really prepared me for the jump that I had to UNLV.
Oh, that's awesome. Sounds like you definitely had a blast. And the second part I had for that question, however you're best able to answer this, what prompted your decision to transfer from Hawaii to UNLV?
Well, really, it was just, I had my sophomore year was my best year. I averaged about, 14 points a game. Was playing really well. I got sick late in the season and kind of could just not find my groove the rest of the season on. But, it was just, I just felt like it was better for, it was time for a bigger opportunity. I strived myself on challenges, and I felt like, the challenge going to Hawaii was just basically showing people that I could play college basketball. I wasn't highly recruited coming out of high school. And so, I just went to Hawaii with that, a chip on my shoulder. Like, I just want to show people that I belong here. Like, I belong at the Division I level. So, once I felt like I completed that challenge, I felt like it was time for a new one. And then, that's eventually what helped me get to UNLV.
All right, Justin, I have a question for you. I've been fortunate enough to been to a couple practices and follow you guys. I followed UNLV basketball my whole life, but especially this year with Coach Kruger having a great year this year. I
So
want to talk about you as a player, though. From what I've seen, you're an unbelievable vocal leader. A lot of the guys like you. You have a handshake with every one of the guys. I noticed that. But you always have a smile. You're always like an upbeat player. So I kind of wanted to ask you, like, being that way and being that positive, influential player, does that help your game? Like, does that almost make you feel like you can play better basketball and not only with the team but yourself?
for sure, this life is so short. I have a sign. I actually have a sign outside my door. I see it every morning before I walk out. It says, "Be happy always." No matter what's going on in life, no matter what's going on, be happy. So I try to carry that on to the basketball court, and everything I do. So I feel like it definitely helps. I'm out there, I'm smiling. I'm trying to get the guys going. I'm happy. I'm joking around. I'm joking around with the coaches. Just trying to be upbeat, trying to do everything I can to, just get the practice, get the day started off on the right foot. So you know, credit my mom. She always gets me like little quotes and stuff like that to put outside my room and stuff to just leave me with. So be happy always is something I live by.
And then, and kind of adding to that, your role this season has fluctuated a lot. You've started some games, you've come off the bench some games. You may have an increased minutes in this game, just kind of depending on who's been healthy for you guys. So I have a big question for you. How do you stay mentally prepared for maybe one game? You're starting and you're going to be one of the leading scorers that night, or you anticipate to be one of the leading scorers. But then maybe there's another night where you have a lot of guys healthy and you're just kind of contribute your role. You're going to shoot threes. You're going to defend. Like, how do you kind of balance that? Some nights you have to have a bigger role than other nights.
Um, I think it's all about staying ready. Being positive. With this game, each game your role may change. There might be a game where they might need me to score a little bit more. Elijah's having a hard game, or Keyshawn's having a hard game. Lou's having a hard game, and they need somebody else to give them like a spark plug. And so, my mentality is just always stay ready. Just always being there for my teammates. Whenever they need me most, if they need me to defend the best player, if they need me to knock down the biggest shot in the game, I'm always going to do it. So it's just all about staying positive and just staying ready. And that's just a credit. I'll say it again to my dad. He's been there, he's done that. He knows what it's like to have different roles on different teams. And so whatever my role may be going into a certain game, I just try to do it to the best of my ability.
And
Go ahead, Dave. Go ahead.
oh yeah, I'm just gonna go on to that. I gotta ask. There definitely had to have been a lot of one-on-ones between you and your pops. Can you get his number now, or does he still beat you in the ones?
No, what's crazy is so the last time I played my dad in one-on-one, I might have been in like the second or third grade. I was really young. Since then, he doesn't really play me anymore because I think at a young age he got the fact of like, because my dad didn't start playing basketball till he was in the eighth grade, and then he became a McDonald's All-American and all that. But at a young age, I was able to try to figure out what he was able to do. So I think once he seen that, he didn't want to play me anymore. He beat me, and so he can just he can have the last laugh. So I actually haven't been able to play him, but he's actually been getting in shape, and so I've been telling him like, yo, gonna have to put your sneakers on one time. We can just play a game to three, but he's not really trying to, because he was like, he's not trying to tear anything, messing with me. But hopefully one of these days I can talk him into playing me, and then eventually beat him. So
That's awesome.
I wanted to. It's not really a question. Well, actually, yeah. Like, walk me through the tech fleece addiction, the sneakers, the drip, everything. I mean, I swear, guys, for the viewers listening, Webb has a new tech suit on every day he walks into the gym, and it's just like let it like cool off.
I mean, really, really, really and truly, I didn't even really like wearing sweats like that until I'll never forget. My mom bought me my first tech fleece. I think it was like, I can't remember if it was black or black or gray, and I wore it. And I remember everybody telling me like, "Yo, that tech fleece is fire," blah blah blah. And I was just like, "Oh, like really?" Like I had no clue. Like this is like the style. So then, as I started to, get more into social media and get more into the aspect of like, what's trending and what's not, I seen a lot of people, wearing tech fleeces. So my whole goal was, This might have been like my freshman year of high school. My whole goal was I was like, okay, so this is the style. Okay, I'm gonna try to get every color then. So then I just started getting, bright like everything, black, purple, green, blue, whatever color I could find. I was always trying to get it. And at that time they was pretty cheap. They was like $75 for the bottom and the top. So I'm like, cool. And then now they like 125 for both. So I'm just like, that's really where it comes from. My mom was the one that really introduced me to wearing all these tech fleeces. And then with the shoes, you know, um, my dad being a basketball player, him having an EYBL team, him still having a Nike contract. That's pretty much where it all comes from. Sometimes, at a young age, I always ask for shoes, but now that I've gotten older, I try to not ask for, a lot. But he still finds his way to get me a whole bunch of shoes, and so I have I have quite a lot. Like I have some shoes over here that's like not even half of my closet back home. So it's a lot, and it's some shoes in there that people have never seen before that I probably will never take out. So so
Well, with NIL, if anyone's looking to do a tech fleece deal, you know who to call.
oh for sure,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I would definitely rock it.
I want to ask you, like, onto the shoes. What's your favorite hoop shoe of all time?
Favorite hoop shoe?
Yep.
They got to be Kobe's. I love I love the Kobe's. What Kobe's exactly? I don't really know. That's really hard because I like the snakeskin ones. The snakeskin Kobe's. I don't know what number that is. It's too many. It's too many numbers. I don't know what number that is. But the snakeskin Kobe's, I love those. Um, I'll probably say those actually. Them right there, like you can't go wrong with those. And
Yeah.
I used to have a lot of them when I was really young, and I actually gave them away because like obviously they couldn't fit me anymore. But I'm mad. I wish I would have kept them because I had some like PEs that he never like they would give to like the NBA teams that they had, they'd pass some stuff down to my dad and gave some stuff to me, and I had some PEs that I had that were too big, and we actually kind of just gave them away. But I wish I would have kept them, but it's too late now.
All right, I got a couple questions for you, Justin. The first one, I don't know how often you get asked this question, but I mean, you've been playing basketball your whole life. Is there any teammate that you've ever had that you just that like that's the guy you've always wanted on your team? Maybe your favorite teammate you've ever had. It could be when you were 5 years old. It could be today. Has there been anybody in your whole life playing basketball that you go, if I have any teammate that I get to pick to be on my team, I want him?
Oh, there's a couple. There's a couple. Bryce Cook. It's a kid named Bryce Cook from back in Dallas. He actually his basketball career was actually cut short due to he had a major stroke senior year of high school. Kind of cut his basketball career short. He was committed to SMU to play. Never really got to see a college basketball court, college atmosphere, and so always praying for him. That's my guy. But Bryce Cook for sure. He just brought for the Keyshawn. Think of Keyshawn but shorter. Think of Keyshawn but shorter. That's exactly who he was. And he could really shoot it. He could really pass it. He really got his teammates involved. Could really defend. That's my guy. I love him to death. Every time I step out on the court with him, I just knew we would win. Like when it came down to it, if we needed a big stop, a big play, I knew he was going. I knew he was going to do it. So for him for sure. And then Drew Timmy. Y'all know Drew Timmy.
Yeah.
Obviously one of the best basketball players in college basketball. For the last couple of years. But Drew, I love playing with Drew. I played with Drew from 8th grade to my sophomore year. It was always fun playing with him, especially off the court. He always liked to joke around. He always loved to have fun. And on the court as well, we could obviously throw it to him, and he'd get us a bucket anytime we needed one. He just did everything. He just did everything for us: rebound, block shots. Get timely buckets. Like if we threw it in there, we knew it was 2 points. So playing with those two guys was probably like the highlight of my high school careers because they just made me better. They made me want to come out there and compete every day. So those are the two guys that I would say I would love to play with. Like if I could, I would love to play with those two guys like right now.
So you, Bryce Cook, and Drew Timmy would be your 3v3 pro-am at Rucker Park. You're not losing
Oh,
with those two.
for sure. Yeah, no. Oh yeah, for sure, for
And
sure, for sure. I would say
then
I would take those guys over anybody for sure,
uh,
for sure.
and then speaking of teammates, you have one of your teammates, one of our co-hosts, Nick here. Out of
Nick
all the walk-ons you've ever played with in college basketball, where would you rank Nick? We're gonna rank him for two spots. We're gonna rank him as a person, and we're gonna rank him as a basketball player.
Both last. I'm kidding.
What you talking about? Both class. Where do I rank my guy Nicky Yante? For those of you that don't know, we have like these little, Keyshawn and Big Key actually came up with like these little nicknames where they add like Iante or Iano at the end. So I just call Nick, Nicky Yante. So but I would rank Nick. Ooh, let me see. I gotta think about the walk-ons I play with because I can't leave Cam out, and then I had a walk-on at Hawaii. I'm not gonna lie, I've actually gotten close with every walk-on I've been with every team, and I know like not a lot of people do that, but I've actually got close with every walk-on I've been with. So I'd probably say like they're all like 1A, 1B, 1C because I play with a guy named Zorned who was a walk-on at Hawaii, who he introduced me to the island, showed me around, showed me the ropes of everything. So definitely got to put him up there. Cam, him last year, being able to get a great relationship with him. And then Nicky Yante this year, him coming out here from, not talking and not shooting the ball at all to, being in practice, joking around and, being who he is. So I'd probably put all the walk-ons I play with 1A, 1B, 1C for real.
That's an awesome.
Love it.
Yeah,
I would have put him last personally.
No, I can't do that. Nick is my guy. Nick is the guy that I always look at the bench. Like I might have did like a defense assignment wrong, or I might have missed a shot, and I know I'll look at Nick and just start laughing because he'll just look at me and be like, "You good, bro? Just keep showing it. You got it." And so I'll just start laughing. I'll be like, "I got you, bro. I got you." So yeah, for sure.
Nah, it's always nice to hear the nice things about our boy Nick. I know I was saying put him last, but we love him. It's all jokes. But to sort of get into questions about the future, do you have any big goals or ambitions that you want to do after college, whether that's playing or something else?
For sure. I mean, everybody's goal when they play basketball, play basketball at the collegiate level is to go play in the NBA. So obviously that's been a goal of mine since I was, since I first knew what basketball was. So obviously being able to play in the NBA, being able to say, I got to experience that. My goal is to be better than my dad, and I know my dad played in the NBA for a couple of years, and so however many years he played, I want to play more than him, so I can say I was better than him. So definitely being able to play, experience the NBA or professional anywhere, I would love it. And then when it's all said and done, when it's time for me to retire from basketball and I have a family, and everything, I want to go. I want to go work at a Nike in Portland. Actually, I want to go over there. I love shoes. I mean, Nick tells you guys I love tech fleeces, so I feel like being around that atmosphere would just be fun. I know they have great people over there. My uncle used to work over there, so I hear good things about it all the time. So I feel like that would be, one thing that I would definitely love to do as soon as I finish up. As soon as I finish playing basketball.
And maybe we can get some new tech fleece designs out of that. You never know.
Hey, you never know. I might come out with some, J Webb's Tech Fleece. You know what I mean?
Hey, I would buy one and rock one for sure.
I appreciate you. I need all the support.
But to question something that happened recently, you and Nick picked up a big dub on one of the toughest road environments, in my opinion, in college basketball at New Mexico. They had a whiteout. I mean, I was watching on TV. It was loud. It was ruckus. I mean, you see fans putting up the bird before tip off. Like, what was playing in that environment like? And how do you prepare yourself for that? And then what was the party like afterwards?
Playing in that environment was actually surreal. So when we got to the gym, people were already, it was like, it stood like an hour and a half before, tip off. There's people already sitting down, watching warm ups. No, it was packed probably with 30 minutes left to go in our warm up. Like it was like you could clearly see it was sold out. And just being able to play in that environment and being able to make tough shots, get big stops, and just hear the crowd just go from completely going crazy to just completely quiet. It's no better feeling. It's no better feeling than shutting up 15, 20,000 people. It's no better feeling. And then just afterwards, it was just you could just tell because we struggled our first two games. You could clearly tell we struggled. Guys wasn't playing very well, but I felt like we finally got our groove back to who we are, our identity of who we had become, our first, during the non-conference. And so I think you can see that in that win for sure. And I just think it's all the momentum, heading on to, the rest of the conference. And I'm sorry, you asked one more question. I can't remember what the question was.
Just the party like afterwards in the locker room, anything fun happen, anything crazy, or just on to the next one?
Oh, no, it's just on to the next one. Like, when you get wins like that, especially for us and how we play during the non-conference, we expect, to get wins like that. So, pretty much we just sat in there, we celebrated, the whole trip home. And then, as soon as we landed, it's on to the next. We got a big one on Wednesday and another big one on Saturday and, just getting ready for those.
I love it. We just did an episode with Peter Funk. He's a Dobo at Valpo. And that answer reminded me, he came up with a quote that we were talking about. It's the most important game is the next game. So that just reminded me of that a lot.
For sure.
If anyone doesn't have any more questions, anything like that, we'll get into our storyline of the week. Webb, if you don't know, kind of just like to run through, it's big story, something coming up or something that just happened. So Dave will go, Dan will go, and then you can give one if you want. But go ahead, Dave.
So
I would like to talk about coming up Saturday, January 21st. This impacts Dan a little bit. We got a big Pac-12 battle. UCLA at Arizona could have a lot of implications in the Pac-12 standings come tournament time. Obviously, not just two Pac-12 title favorites, but two championship favorites across the nation. And I don't know if it's the first game that they're playing since the spitting incident that happened, but I know those two teams have a lot of bad blood. For anyone who doesn't know, there was a player on UCLA who had spat on a fan at Arizona after they lost, and he got a suspension, I believe. So there's definitely a lot of bad blood between these teams. I'm excited to tune in and see what happens because there's big implications with this game.
Yeah, I'll go with mine. Mine's a little bit different. Mine happens to be about a coach, Chris Beard. If you guys saw what happened to him, he had a sexual assault case, and obviously that led to him getting fired. But I don't know if Nick and Justin know this. This is kind of applied to you two, but he was actually the head coach of UNLV for, I believe, a week and a half before taking the Texas Tech job. So he was at Little Rock and then went to UNLV for like a week and a half, and then decided to go to Texas Tech. I don't. Most of our listeners probably don't know that because it was so fast. But I want to talk about Rodney Terry. I don't know if you guys know who he is. He's been in the college basketball world for 27 years. He is the man who has to take on the job of now being Texas's interim head coach for either the remainder of the year or whether they're going to hire a replacement. But I just think Texas is in such a unique position right now. They're obviously a title contender with the talent they have and the experience and the depth they have. But, you have to trust whether you're going to go with Rodney Terry, who's never been a head coach. He's only been an intern. He was an intern for Rice and now Texas, or whether you're going to hire somebody else. So I think it's a really unique position, and I'm very interested to see what Texas does with that.
And then one thing before Justin goes, I just don't want you to be misquoted. I believe it was a domestic violence, not sexual assault. I just don't want, I just don't want you to be misquoted, that's all.
No,
you're good.
I don't know.
All right. Before I go, I got a question to ask y'all. Do y'all think that Chris Beard will get another head coaching job? And also, do you think that Texas will hire a new coach, or do you think they'll stick with the interim coach?
I'll start us off. Actually, for one of my sport industry classes, I'm doing a presentation on it this weekend. So I did some research into it. Do I think he'll get another coaching job? Yes. I feel like just because of his skill set as a coach specifically, not talking about character, there will be a program who's willing to overlook that or accept his apology and bring him on just for the talent he brings. Now, I don't know if that's necessarily going to be on the high major level. He might have to go mid-major or low major, but I do believe if he wants to continue coaching, there will be an opportunity for him. And as far as hiring a new coach, I mean, Coach Terry, as of now, they're doing a good job there. And it's going to be determined, in my opinion, based off how they do. Like if they win the Big 12 and make a March Madness run, I think it'd be
for sure,
unjustful if they don't, keep him. But at this point, you got to think, I mean, they're searching. They're definitely probably poking at some programs who don't want to lose their coach. Like I've seen some reports, nothing official, like Bruce Pearl is going to be in the mix, different guys like that. So I definitely think they're going to look into it, but it really just comes down to how they play.
For sure.
I would say kind of the same thing. I mean, I'm sure they're kind of searching, but it's kind of early. So I mean, you can't really not give the interim a chance. You know what I mean? Let him.
It is late. It's kind of late in the year too, for sure.
Yep.
I just wanted to see where you guys' head was at. That's all. Shout out to my guy Brandon Chappelle, who coaches over there. He was at UNLV last year. Went over there, doing a great job with the guys. So, Bezo, if you see this, I love you, dog. Keep doing what you're doing, and we'll for sure talk soon. But my story is the Washington State upset at Arizona. I mean, so that's a big time win for them. It makes us at UNLV look great because they was able to go into a Power 5, top 5 team and win that game. So credit to them. They played a great game. I actually watched the highlights yesterday, and I just don't think Arizona took them seriously. They came out there and Washington State just said we have nothing to lose. We're just going to go out here and play hard, and that's what they did. They made shots when they needed to. They got defensive stops when they needed to. And so, credit those guys for going out there and getting that big-time win.
Yeah, that's a great storyline. I feel like that didn't get enough attention either because it was Tommy Lloyd in his first year and a half at Arizona. It was his first home loss in that arena ever.
Right.
So that was impressive for sure.
Exactly. So to be able to go on the road, especially, and I heard Arizona is a tough environment to go into. I heard it's one of the hardest ones in the country as well. So for them to be able to go in there and get that big time win, hey, credit to those guys.
All right. Well, with that all being said, thanks Webb for coming on here. Really enjoyed this episode. Super informative, super beneficial for everyone listening. PPP out. Peace.